Hey everybody, welcome to Rants by Michaela. So I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on what happened last night at the Oscars and give you guys my 2 cents about what I think happened. So for those of you who don't know, who don't really watch the Oscars, the Academy Awards, are not really interested in award shows like I'm not, it was kind of hard to ignore the slap heard around the world after getting all the buzz about it no less than 6 minutes after it happened last night. Chris Rock, who is a comedian, for those of you who don't know, was hosting the Academy Awards shows, and he made a joke directed at Jada Pinkett Smith with regards to her alopecia and her hair loss. And at first, her husband, Will Smith, brushed off the joke and laughed it off. And she had chuckled, and then she kind of, rolled her eyes. You could tell she didn't really have a care for the joke, but she wasn't going to really react because the joke wasn't all that bad. But after seeing his wife roll her eyes, Will Smith thought that it was appropriate to go ahead and get up and slap Chris Rock right across the face in front of tens of millions of viewers all around the world. Calmly and coolly walk back to his seat, and when he sat down, tell Chris Rock, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. That was uncalled for, especially when you hear the joke that he said. All he said was, hey Jada, I love you so much, can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2. Now, again, for those of you who don't know, G.I. Jane is a movie that came out in the 90s. And it talks about a woman who ended up becoming the first female Navy SEAL in United States history. And while she was going through her Navy SEAL training, she shaved all of her hair off. Now, this joke happened weeks after I personally saw a video of Jada Pinkett telling the whole world that she doesn't know what happened. The alopecia just came. She's going to embrace it. She's going to embrace her natural beauty with her bald head. A black woman is not her hair. A black woman does not need hair or weaves or wigs to have to feel beautiful. A black woman can be beautiful in her natural state without any hair at all. Women can be beautiful in their natural state without any hair at all. That was a wonderful, bold, women's empowering statement that she made just weeks ago on a video that came out that I saw. It was kind of like a commercial. It really could have been, like a clip of that really could have been the beginning to the remake of India Ari's song, I Am Not My Hair, if she ever wanted to remake that video. And throughout the years, so many black women have done what we call the big chop, just cutting all their hair off and letting it grow naturally from there. Sanaa Lathan did it for a movie, but she also was, making a statement with that movie. Erykah Badu has done the big chop. India Ari has done the big chop. And now, even though it wasn't necessarily a deliberate big chop, Jada Pinkett has come out to say, yes, I'm losing my hair, but I'm going to keep it shaven and lined up so that my bald head looks great. And she looks fantastic. She looks phenomenal. For Will Smith to react like that, it's like he's crapping on all of the black women who have come out and said, I am not my hair. I can be black and bold and beautiful without a head full of hair. For Jada Pinkett to come out and say, I am no longer going to cover my bald head with a wig, is an incredible statement. Very similar to the statement that was made in Black Panther. For those of you who saw Black Panther, you saw the scene in the underground Korean casino where one of the warriors was wearing a wig on her bald head. And she was just like, when can I get rid of this ridiculous thing? She hated it. She hated it and couldn't wait to go back bald. So many black women have made this incredible statement that we are not our hair. We are beautiful without it. And then Will went and he reacted like that, crapping on every single black woman who has ever been bold enough to make that bold statement. Now, some people say He was in the right. He saw that Chris Rock's tiny little joke made her feel uncomfortable and he defended his wife. But I don't think that that's the case. And I'm going to tell you why. Many years ago, I was watching an interview with Steve Harvey and Tamar Braxton. And Tamar was talking about her divorce from her ex-husband Vince and how she had all these wigs that she was selling because she was starting brand new after her divorce, kind of like new Tamar post-divorce type of thing. And she was saying how she believes, regardless if anybody else disagrees, that it's a woman's job to get up early in the morning, put her wigs on, get her face all dolled up, and start looking cute for her man. And Steve Harvey was like, yes, yes. I keep trying to tell you women, men are visual creatures. We like it when our women get all dolled up. We don't want to see you looking a hot toe up mess. We want to see you looking beautiful. I'm not saying it's not right. I'm not saying when you looking toe up, we love you any less, but we are visual creatures. So Steve Harvey was agreeing with her on all that. Listening to that so many years ago and watching Real's reaction just a few weeks after Jada's female empowerment without hair video came out, it made me think Jada is not the one who was offended by that comment. She rolled her eyes at it and kept it pushing. But Will was deeply offended by that comment. That comment struck a nerve. That joke struck a nerve. Because Will, at the end of the day, is no longer attracted to his wife with her bald hair. Remember, we're at the Academy Awards. Every single solitary award show, I don't care what it is, the Grammys, the Oscars, MTV Awards, BET Awards, I think the only exception are the Tony and the Dove Awards. Every single one of those award shows is hosted by a comedian. Because at the end of the day, the award show ends up being a roasting session. And no one is exempt from the roasting. And these comedians have a tendency to dig in and dive into the most sensitive topics going on in mainstream media and pop culture at the moment. And you have one of two options when the joke is directed at you and what's going on in your life in Hollywood and media right now. You can either laugh at yourself and laugh with your peers who are laughing with you, or you can decide to be a total dick and take it offensively. Will Smith decided to be a total dick and take it offensively because at the end of the day, that joke struck a nerve. Struck a nerve to the point where even Jada had to get him to calm down because she wasn't even tripping off of what Chris Rock said the way that Will was. Struck a nerve to the point where Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, and Tyler Perry had to go and have a chat with Will during the break. And during that time, the cameras caught Will wiping tears from his face. Now, why are you wiping tears from your face when you went and slapped Chris Rock? Because you weren't wiping tears from your face when you slapped him. What do you have to be sad about when you think you're defending your wife? You're sad about the fact that when Chris said that, he struck a nerve in you. Because you no longer find your wife beautiful anymore without her hair. And that's something you're going to have to admit. And I stand by that ideology. I stand by that opinion because you know what? Will Smith said some really selfish crap many years ago that I will never forget and I will never agree with. He said, it's not my job to make her happy. It's her job to make her happy. And then when she comes to me, she's already happy, so I don't have to make her happy. So then Jada, during Red Table Talk, tells the whole world how she spent every single night for a month crying by herself in her bedroom before she went to sleep. Will did absolutely nothing about it, did absolutely nothing to help her emotional state or her mental health at the time. Until finally later, she ended up getting pushed in the arms of a rapper who's half of her age and ended up having an affair with him, which she called an entanglement. And she confessed this to her husband on Red Table Talk, and they decided to air that footage out to the rest of the world, something that they didn't have to do. And then once again, Will decided that he wanted to start crying. You weren't crying when you were neglecting your wife. Now all of a sudden you crying when you found out your wife was pushed in another man's arms because you were not making her happy. I don't feel like Will is in this relationship to make sure he can be a wonderful, beautiful protector and a provider to Jada, because we already know that Jada is a wonderful, beautiful, emboldened, empowered black woman. Will is in this relationship for himself. Will doesn't feel the need to make Jada feel better about herself when she's at her lowest point. Will doesn't feel the need to be there for his wife when she's at her lowest point. And Will no longer sees his wife attractive now that she no longer has any hair. And he's not defending her, he's acting out because that joke struck a nerve in him, not her. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my opinion. You guys feel how you feel, but this is how I feel.